Hey there guys, so today I'm going to talk about a different book, get off the D&D thing here for a second and talk about another series I've really enjoyed reading. I've even listened to it whenever I can't get a chance to read it, but I got the books here, and it's the Iron Druid Chronicles, whoever's familiar with it, and book one's called Hounded. Now, Kevin Hearn is the author, and this is one of those books where you need to kind of take off your PC specs and not be so offended to read. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump on into it. Let's start with the back matter and get y'all an idea of what this is about. So, Atticus O'Sullivan, last of the Druids, lives peacefully in Arizona, running an occult bookshop and shape-shifting in his spare time to hunt with his Irish wolfhound, whose name is Oberon. His neighbors and customers think that this handsome tattooed Irish dude is about 21 years old, when in actuality he's 21 centuries old. Not to mention, he draws his power from the earth, possesses a sharp wit, and wields an even sharper magical sword known as Fragarok, the Answerer. Unfortunately, a very angry Celtic god wants that sword, and he's hounded Atticus for centuries. Now, the determined deity has tracked him down, and Atticus will need all his power, plus the help of a seductive goddess of death, his vampire and werewolf team of attorneys, a bartender possessed by a Hindu witch, and some good old-fashioned luck of the Irish to kick some Celtic arse and deliver himself from evil. And there's got some praising on here. Here's some Celtic mythology and an ancient druid with modern attitude. Mix it up in the Arizona desert in this witty new fantasy series. That is a quote from Kelly Medding, author of 3 Days to Dead. Let's see, we got another one. Kevin Hearn breathes new life into old myths, creating a world both eerily familiar and startlingly, thank you. That speech impediment, it'll kick in whenever I'm just reading original. And that's by Nicole Peeler, author of Tempest Rising. So, you know, Nicole here makes a very good point. Kevin has obviously done a lot of research into gods and myths and all that kind of stuff when he wrote these. And it shows. I mean, he's actually, put in probably hundreds of hours of research just from what I've read, because he knows some of the lore, the ins and out of the lore, and it's obvious that he throws in a little bit of flavoring of his own into that to make it kind of his own world. So Atticus is a very interesting character. I love how he didn't go with the whole snark, cocky kind of personality. He's cocky in just the right way. You know, he's aware of his power, but he doesn't want to push it if he doesn't have to. So he'll avoid a fight if he can. Because if he gets into a fight, there's a good chance, because he's mortal, that he could still die. Now, it doesn't talk about some of the other people that he runs into in here, and being that this is one of those books that I would highly recommend more on Audible than actually reading, just because the voice acting is so well done. The whole breathing life into the character is really done on Audible, and it's not a very long read or listen to. The book itself is approximately about 300 pages, almost. It's 304 pages, so it's a very quick read and a very quick listen to, and it's totally worth it. Actually, I would support him in general. That's why I actually bought his books as well. If you do find an author or somebody out there that you really support, or his beliefs, buy his book. Don't just listen to an Audible. Listen to an Audible and buy his book. Show him that people care for this character. And O'Sullivan is definitely somebody that you should care about. So, Hounded has got great action scenes in it. So the way that he uses his magic in here is he has to have really contact with it, or through like charms and stuff, which he has, and that's not spoiling anything he's saying this. he's got a an iron-bound necklace that has charms on it where he can draw. He has like stored magic in, and he can draw it for certain things. Like I think it's a bear charm, and he can transform, or that gives him strength. Or you know what I'm saying? Different charms do different things, including healing and regeneration. But however, he becomes very vulnerable if he's like in a building away from nature, or you know, in a hospital, or in a city, or you know, whenever he can't actually be touching nature, then he is vulnerable. I love the concept too. Like there's a couple scenes where like he's getting ready for combat, and he talks about it. And I know in the later books he really does it a lot more. You know, he'll strip straight nude and get ready for fighting, because he's like, that's how we used to do it back in the day. So he'll go into a fight, you know, bare ass naked, and it's a great book. The humor is, you know, top notch. It's witty. It's very comical. I've caught myself snickering and laughing openly about it, and I've even had my wife look over at me like I was an idiot a couple times. So when you get that kind of look from your wife, you know it's a good book. I think the best books are the ones that can draw you in and keep you reading for hours, and you know it only felt like it's been maybe an hour and a half, but you've been sitting there for like 3 hours reading. So I think those are the best kinds of books. Hounded is definitely one of those. With everything going on right now, I think that we all need a little bit of comedy in our life and something to help us pass the time, you know, as opposed to just sitting here watching me talk about it. I really hope someone gets out there, checks it out. It's called the Iron Druid Chronicles. The book one's called Hounded, and it's by Kevin Hearn. Again, guys, I hope everybody stays safe. I just want to put this out there. Love this book. Great read. Check it out. Y'all be good.